It's weigh day time. Let's get on with it. So I'm going to keep my little rituals, what I used to do in group, take my rings off and take my glasses off. I've always done that since I've got weighed. I'm going to carry that on. Let's get this. I've got markers on the floor, which I'll always put these on. And we'll see.
You say all the right things when I'm hurting. You always pick me up when I am down. It's like you have a spark that leaves me burning. Yeah, you just have your ways to get me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right.
So that is my weight. So if you've not seen my previous vlog, which is what I ate in a day and a chat, then you wouldn't know that yesterday I made the decision to become official Slimming World member. I speak more about that in that video, but I just thought that I would do it correctly and officially go back to the plan, which I absolutely love. Get on the scales. So today was my weigh-in. Probably seen before this that what my weight is. I'm not going to beat about the bush or anything like that. If you're interested in that, you'd have seen it. So yeah, that's my starting weight. I was so nervous stepping on those scales because it's a big acknowledgement of how far I've come away from where I was. Now, I am not going to be fixated on those numbers because those numbers do not tell me anything. All they tell me is that what I already knew in myself, that I put weight on. I didn't need to see the numbers to know that I'd put on weight because I can feel it in my clothes. I don't feel comfortable in my skin. And like I've always said, I'm not at my happy place. And that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to be back into my happy place and to feel good in my own skin. When I started this journey 3 years ago in 2017, my big goal was to get comfortable in my own skin. It wasn't a weight, it wasn't a number, it wasn't how much I'm going to lose. I just wanted to be able to feel good in my own skin and feel confident again in me and be proud of my body in my lumps and bumps. Me sitting here today, I am not at that place. I am not happy in my own skin. I've come a long way from where I was and I'm a lot more happier than I was 3 years ago. But I know where I am truly happy and I've been there. Now, a lot of people might think, well, why did you give up the Slimming World plan? And that's for a lot of reasons, basically. I don't live in hindsight. Hindsight is the greatest thing ever. But in that moment, back in January when I finished, I think beginning of February, I think, it's just what I needed. At that moment of time, I needed to let something go in my life. And the last thing I needed to think about was what I was putting in my food. There was a lot going on in my personal life with Grace and all her eating and stuff like that and hospital appointments. There was the cloud of the lockdown coming. There was just a lot going on, let's say. So the last thing I needed to think about was Slimming World. Now, hindsight is a great thing because I think that should have been like the constant thing, but I let it slip. We all make mistakes, but we learn from them. And I've learned that sometimes it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to step away from something and realise, give yourself that time and then think, well, actually, I need to get back on it. And that's what I did. I've joined Slimming World now and I'm ready to get back to my happy place. Yes, there'll be weekly updates, but I really am not bothered about what I weigh. I am more interested in how I'm going to feel. So yes, there will be a number, like how much I've lost or gained or maintained, whatever that will be in the weeks coming. This is mainly for me as like a weekly check, how I'm feeling in my own skin. Have I had any non-scale victories? Is there those pair of jeans which felt really tight on me last week, do they feel a bit loose this week? It's those indications where I'll be looking out for more than what that number says on that scale. Some people like to know and like to be at a certain weight. To me, that's never really bothered me as such. I just want to feel good in my own skin again and be back to my happy place, as I've always said. This is the road back to my target. So, last time I weighed in was the 30th of January and I was 12 stone 5. I was out of my target range, so I want a stone to get back to where I was in January. That is my first main goal. I am not thinking of any of the massive goals. I'm just looking at a stone. And I say just, and I don't mean that flippantly, because it can take a while to lose a stone. A stone is a good chunk of weight to lose. But I want to lose a stone. That is my first major goal. Some people might say, well, why don't you do half a stone? I want a stone. I don't care how long it takes me. My first major goal is to get that stone off. To get a stone off and go back to 12 stone 5, because 12 stone 5 Rachel was quite happy and content. She must have been, because she made the choice at 12 stone 5 that she was happy in her own skin, she liked how she felt, and she thought that she could do Slimming World on her own, because that's what I said in the previous video. So me getting back to 12 stone 5 or round about that weight is what I want. So I want a stone off, and we'll see how I feel there. Like I said, this journey is all about how I'm going to feel. That's my first goal, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So there won't be little bite-sized little like how much I'd like to lose each week. I'm not going to say like £1 a week or anything like that. However long it takes, it takes. All I need to know is that I follow the plan correctly. I weigh and measure my A and B's. I don't guesstimate. I don't just get like the tomato sauce or something like that and just squirt it on and go, oh, that's a sin's worth, even though I know there's not a sin's worth there. This is following the plan correctly, measuring my A's and measuring my B's, having a third speed on my plate. Me following those things, I will know that I'm doing it the best I can. And as long as I keep that mentality that I am putting the right food in my body, I'm choosing the best things, and I'm doing as much exercise physically possible in this situation, then I'm doing the best thing possible. And that's all I can do. I can't do any more than trying my best. However long this takes, I will get back to my happy place. I will get back to wearing those shorts, and I will get back to wearing those skirts. There's no time scale on this. I'm just happy that I fell back in love with the plan. There's been quite a few people who have contacted me saying, I wish I could get my head in gear and get back to Slimming World. When the time is right, you will know. And once you find that time is right, you will like jump on it and you'll do it. 3 weeks ago, I wasn't ready about Slimming World. I wasn't even thinking about Slimming World. I was like, it didn't even enter my head. And then 2 weeks ago, so that was just a week after I felt like that, little things, I got thinking about little things. Certain time ops were coming up and I was looking at myself, and just like just little indications that I put a pair of jeans on, they were a little bit tight, and I was like, I felt a bit deflated. Looking at myself naked in the bath, I was like, ooh, you know. So those are indications. And then I made a video last week about me eating sweets, and it's like, my bad habits are coming in. How can I do it? But it took me 3 weeks from getting the mindset of I'm not even thinking about it to where I am today. And it might take you 6, 8, it might take you even 6 months. But when you get to that place where you want to do it, it'll click. It will click. And don't think of the long-term goals. Just take each meal at a time. Just say to yourself, right, today, as long as I have a good breakfast, which is Slimming World friendly, then I've done better than what I did yesterday. Set little goals. Say like you don't want chocolate today. Then if you set that goal, you don't have any chocolate today, then a massive thumbs up. When I started Slimming World 3 years ago, I didn't get the book and follow it 100%, and I've always been honest about that, because I had to adapt the plan to my lifestyle, and I couldn't do the shop to slim or anything like that. I set little goals per week. The first goal, I think it was changing full fat Coke to sugar-free Coke. That was my first thing in the week. And that week, I think I lost 4.5 pounds in my first week. And that was just changing one simple thing from full fat Coke, because I am a fizzy pop lover, to sugar-free. That was the only thing I changed. And maybe my portion, I had a big plate and I reduced it to a smaller plate. So that were the 2 things I changed that week. And then the week after, I kept that change going and I took the sugar out of my coffee. And then it became like, let's zoom in into the meat I'm eating. Let's look at the 5% meat. Let's look at the leaner cut. Let's take that fat off. Let's take the skin off the chicken. I made slow things so it didn't feel too much too soon. What got me to keep loving the plan, because it was little steps and I made the plan fit me. I didn't go all guns blazing and buy all this food and look at everyone else, what everyone else is doing. Yes, those other people could be an inspiration for you, but you've got to, if you are following the Slimming World plan, adapt it to your lifestyle. I follow so many lovely human beings on this plan. And I've got to say, we all do the plan completely different. That's the beauty of Slimming World, because we can all do it differently. We can all get ideas from each other and adapt them into our lifestyle. There's some recipes out there which I look and go, oh my God, that looks amazing. And I think, I could buy all the ingredients, but I can tell you now, those ingredients will not get cooked because it looks absolutely lovely what that person's doing. But I know that it would be too much for me. I just don't like cooking. So I don't do big fancy recipes. That doesn't mean that I don't admire people who do those recipes and I think, oh my God, I wish I could do that. There's things which I don't do, which other people do on Slimming World, but we get the same kind of results. We all are in this together. So you've got to find a way where you can fit Slimming World into your lifestyle. And once you do that, and once it clicks, you'll be away. Just to sum it all up, I'm back. I am back. I am all fired up, but I'm really excited, and let's do this. Let's do it together. Just tell me how you're getting on. I really like to know how you're doing. If you've had a bad week, let me know. You know what, we're all in this together. Us Slimming Worlders know the heartache of an unexpected gain. We also know of those gains which, as a woman, when Star Week appears and you're just like, ugh, and you don't get the losses which you deserve, but then you've got to keep that passion going for next week, because hopefully your body will just like fathom itself out and you'll get the loss which you deserve. Yeah, it's all about just sticking together and knowing that we're all in this, just doing the best. I'm a lot better person than the old Rachel 3 years ago who had no interest in whatsoever of losing weight. And it took one picture and one embarrassing moment to something to spark off me and go, I need to change. And I'm a lot better off now than I was 3 years ago. That doesn't mean that I'm not where I need to be, but I've got to accept that old Rachel, the 17 stone Rachel, size 24 Rachel, would have taken size 12 Rachel here any day of the week. It just means that this size Rachel now has seen a 10, 12 kind of Rachel and likes that a lot better. I'm happy, but I'm not as happy as I know I can be. And that's what I'm aiming for. But I've got to be proud and be proud of where I've come from, because I've come a hell of a long way from where I started. If you've lost weight, be proud of that weight and let that spur you on. Yes, you might not be where you wanted, but you're a hell of a long way from where you've been. So I hope this has helped you out. So that's my weight. It wasn't as nervous as I thought it was going to be. It is what it is. This is now getting back to that happy place. And I hope you stick around for this journey. And so, as always, food optimised and sending huge positive thoughts. Rachel, bye.